Sometimes the answer is hidden in the complaint, which means that sometimes when you listen to a complaint, you actually have the solution right there, or you have access to the deeper issue, the underlying problem, or the underlying mindset that's causing the problem. And this applies to many, many, many things, but it also applies to relationships. A common complaint that I've seen recently is that women are breaking up families because they file for 70% of divorces. And we see what the complaint is, but the answer within it is to ask, well, why? Why are they, quote, breaking up families? And are they really the ones who broke up the family? Because a lot of times women are leaving because they have no support at home, because their husband is not involved in the domestic duties, the child care duties, the relationship. Basically, everything that the family is supposed to mean, it doesn't mean that to that man. And then that goes to a deeper issue is, what does family mean in a man's mind, in a female's mind? And we can even take that further. What does marriage mean in a patriarchy versus a matriarchy? What does family mean in a patriarchy versus a matriarchy? Well, I did a little, I guess you could say, a little post or a little meme about this. In a patriarchy, the family, one of the biggest purposes is for the mother and the father to create new workers for the society, not a happy unit, not a functioning unit, not a unit where, everybody is becoming their best selves, which is really what a matriarchy is for, a nurturing, supportive environment where everybody's able to thrive. Now, a patriarchy is just, concerned about new workers for the next generation, right? And, another issue is a patriarchy sees sometimes these men as problems. And what is a buffer between this male problem and society, a family, because he can go home and take out his anger from his day on his wife, on his kids, on his dog, or his other pet, or whatever. And he doesn't take it out on society. There have been a lot of psychologists and sociologists that say the most dangerous aspect of modern society is the rise in the number of single men, because those men tend to become, the people who commit mass acts of violence. All right. And so in a patriarchy, family is a buffer between those men, keeping society safe at the expense of that family. Another thing is, a family gives a man something to control, which can give him an ego boost, entertainment, right? And this idea that he's going to get something to control is actually a lie that patriarchy has told men. If you follow our rules, if you're masculine in these ways, well, you'll get a woman, you'll get children, and you'll be able to tell them what to do. So the family is kind of the carrot. Behave this way, this is what you get. The reward, the, participation trophy. It's not something that the man who has this mindset is thinking he has to invest in, that he has to nurture, that he has to sacrifice for. No, this is just his prize. This is just his trophy. He's earned this, and now he can sit back and enjoy it, and he can get the accolades of being the responsible husband and father, so he can get, more likely access to promotions and to respect, and to people thinking that, he's more valuable because he has this woman, because he has these children, he has, quote, a legacy. So all of these are his rewards for following patriarchy's rules. So if you're looking at a family from a patriarchal standpoint, then it could be the most horrible relationship in the world and still give a man a status boost, still give workers for the society, still be a buffer between that man and society, still give him an ego boost and something to control. So from that standpoint, it doesn't need to be healthy. It can be as toxic as it can be, and it should still stay together. It should still function. It should still stay an intact family unit. But if you're looking at it from a mental health or a matriarchal perspective, the only families that are really worth keeping together are those that are actually fulfilling the purpose of being healthy environments for everyone to grow and be their best selves. And so, again, the answer is within the complaint. Why are so many women leaving? Because they don't believe in patriarchy's lies anymore. They believe that they deserve a healthy relationship, and their kids do as well. And they're not willing to just do what patriarchy says and fulfill these certain roles that patriarchy has assigned to them. And I agree with them. And I think that that's where we need to move, and that men who have these beliefs need to get rid of them and understand that a family is not a trophy. It is not a service. It is not something to control. It is not something that you earn on one day when you propose and you've met the requirements to get to that proposal, and then you don't have to invest in it anymore once you walk down the aisle, except for maybe bringing home a paycheck and paying a few bills, So we have to change our mindset if we want to have healthier relationships, and we want to stop having these conversations like there's no context for why women are leaving, because there is.